All right, everyone. So building funnels in Kartra. If you aren't really familiar with funnels, that is fine. We know there are some beginners here, and a funnel essentially is your customer's journey when they're interacting with your business. I'm sorry about my voice; it's a little hoarse here. But pretty much when they are, say, your goal is maybe to grow your email list or to sell a product, what are all the moving parts required to take your customer or your visitor on that journey from point A to point B? When it comes to building funnels in Kartra, now Kartra is an all-in-one business platform, so it provides you with a bunch of different tools, whether that be pages, forms for collecting information, the ability to distribute files, email marketing. All of these different things can be connected to one another to form that journey that you're trying to create. Now, in Kartra, there is a funnel mapper. This is under the marketing funnel section of your account. It's not actually a place that will build funnels for you, but it's a great kind of starting point. It'll give you sort of an idea of what your journey is and what all the different pieces that you have to basically create to form that journey. In this example, and the example that we'll be going to today is just sort of a simple list building funnel where you are essentially providing something for free, whether that be some sort of file download, maybe a handout, in exchange for somebody's contact information so that you can grow your list. In order to create a funnel like this in Kartra, you would need kind of 4 or 5 things. There is your landing page, your download page, a form for collecting that information, and then the marketing sequence or an email sequence that you would add people to afterwards. So somebody's landing on your landing page, they're going to fill out your form, which will lead them to your download page, as well as capture their information in your account. And then they'll be added to an email sequence where emails will be automatically sent to these people, kind of nurturing them or marketing your products, whatever your goal is from there. So like I just kind of showed you, traffic is always going to be directed to that landing page as kind of the starting point of your client's journey. The form will be put onto that landing page when you're building out your form. And again, anyone filling out that form will be added to the contact section of your account. When you are creating a form, it's going to ask you what the success pages are, essentially where somebody is going to after they complete that form. So that's where you will link your download page, basically automatically redirecting anyone there who completes that form. And then when you're creating something like an email sequence, you always have the ability to say, what is the starting role or how are people being added to that sequence? In this case, we will say anyone completing our form is going to be added there. So you can see kind of everything in Kartra will interact with one another. It'll make a little more sense once we go into the live demonstration of how these things are being connected. But this, again, just kind of provides you with a kind of visual map of how it's all going to look conceptually. From there, Kartra has what we call campaigns, which are essentially pre-built funnels for you guys to take advantage of. So a lot of areas in Kartra that I feel like we try to provide you with a bunch of templates and things that you can just use to quickly get things started. Campaigns are probably the peak of that because instead of just individual page templates, these campaigns come with all of the different moving parts for a specific funnel that you're trying to create. We have available campaigns, which are a bunch of free campaigns you can look through. We have a campaigns marketplace, which are created by other Kartra users that you typically have to pay to get access to. But you can always look through our available campaigns if you're going for that free option. And then we have your campaigns, which are all the campaigns that you have created yourself or imported into your account. So if you're someone that's not too tech savvy and you're not very good with kind of setting things up yourself, you can kind of look through these campaigns to see if there's anything that you can quickly add to your account. And then you just have to go in and edit each of those individual items since they're already built for you. And then, of course, we always have our support resources, which are available. When it comes to building funnels, it's, again, all of your journeys are probably going to be a bit unique. So it's always great if you get stuck along the way just to reach out to our support team. They're always here to answer your questions. And we run these meetings pretty much every other week if you want to join and kind of learn a little bit more about Kartra to get more information there. So that was just kind of a general overview and introduction to funnels, but let me go into sharing my Kartra account and we can take a look at how this would be done in Kartra here. Alrighty, so in your account, we can just start with the funnel section because that's pretty much where the mapper is going to live, where you can start a good starting point for a lot of people if you're just not too familiar with creating your funnel, or if you just want to visualize how it's going to work. Let's just take a look at this one. This is just a simple list building funnel. Again, with just a few moving parts, just to keep it very simple for demonstration's sake, where again, we have our traffic source. That is, maybe we are sharing this on social media, or maybe we are paying for ads, and that's how people are landing on our sign up page. Again, the goal of this funnel is to grow your contact list. So if you're someone that doesn't have an email list already existing, or if you're trying to grow your email list so that you can start marketing to new people, this is always a great kind of starting point to go with, because it's going to just passively grow that contacts list for you. Your sign up page is going to be the first place that these people are landing on, and this will kind of typically have an offer available. The best way to kind of grow your contact list is always to offer something for free. So a great idea to kind of think about is, what is something that you can offer for free? Maybe it's just a small PDF handout content that they can review and download and get a little taste of what your business has to offer. Your people are a lot more inclined to sign up and provide you with their contact information when they are also getting something in return. So always a good idea when you're kind of setting up sort of a list building funnel to offer something to these people. That way they are enticed to provide you with their information. In this example, again, we have a form on this page. So our goal is to have people sign up for this form, and that will put them into our contact list, and we'll redirect them to our download page where they can download that free offer that we have advertised to them. And from there, they can download our offer and they'll be added to your contact list. So you can really do anything with them. Maybe you start sending emails out to all these people. Maybe like in the slide presentation example, you're adding them to an email sequence where they're automatically receiving emails from you, kind of wherever you imagine their journey going from here. Now, again, this is just a very simple funnel design. Of course, they can be a lot more complicated depending on how your client's journey wants to go. I know some people, may want to start with a quiz and then segment their contacts into different groups based on, what responses people are providing them with. I know there's some people that may want to offer like free membership access to get people into their course. So really kind of depends on what your goal is. If it's maybe to start an intro call, just thinking about some sort of free thing that you can provide people, which will entice them to interact with your business and start growing your contact list so you can get more clients. Alrighty, now let's go through Kartra and show you all of these moving parts and how they are connected to one another in the actual account itself. Again, because yes, the funnel mapper is just a visual map. It's not going to actually build out these individual items for you. So our starting point, again, in this case, was that sign up page. I think we have all these in that category. So yeah, here are the pages associated with this funnel. So you can see our sign up page here. I'll go ahead and edit it just to open the page builder. And really the important part with this, or with any funnels that you're trying to create in Kartra, is how you are putting different things onto those pages. So, I went into the success page. Sorry, let me go into the sign up page. All right. So for example, in this instance, we are using a Kartra form to collect that information, kind of serve as that starting point for our journey. And you can see we have a form embedded into our page. So when somebody goes to visit our page, they can see here maybe a title of our free offer, description. They'll be able to kind of see that they can sign up to get it. And maybe we have some more information about our offer that they can learn about before downloading it. But the form really is going to be the place where they're going to enter their information and get that access. So when you're creating things in Kartra, whether it be a form, a calendar, a product, if you're trying to sell something, all of those things can be added to a page so that you can, start having your client's journey when they are visiting that page. Now, again, the form is on our page, so anyone filling that form out will be directed to our success page. Let's go over to contacts form so that I can show you guys how that process is all working. So here is our free offer sign up form. Now, when it comes to the form, we are collecting any information that we want, which is just first name, email. It's always a good idea to kind of keep your fields as minimal as possible. That way, people don't have to spend too much time to sign up for things that you have available. Just it's always the best way to make it easy for your clients to sign up and provide them with something in return for that sign up, are kind of the proven methods to easy list building. But the important part here is under the settings of the form, you can see there is a success page, and you'll see this in other things that you're creating, like calendars, products, where essentially this is the page that you are sending someone to after they interact with this item. So when somebody fills out this form, they're going to be redirected to our free offer download page, essentially letting them download our free offer. Let me go to custom page. I think it was unlinked here. So we can choose our page, set our free offer download page, save, and now it's all set. Another thing that you can do with a lot of things that you're creating, whether it be forms, again, products, calendars, is you have automations. And these are going to kind of be back-end things that are going to happen when somebody interacts with that item. So in this case, if somebody fills out our form, we are going to tag them with a free offer download tag, just so that we can quickly gauge if we're looking at their contact profile. Okay, this is someone that downloaded our free offer in the past. Tags are just kind of identifiers that you can put onto someone. The other thing that we're going to do is add them to some lists. It's always a best practice to have your contacts in at least one list. The reason is, if somebody clicks the unsubscribe button at the bottom of any email that you send them, they're not subscribed to a list, they're going to automatically be marked as do not contact. So best practice always to have your contacts in at least one list. In this example, we have a general subscribers list and a news and updates list. And you can have a list for every kind of communication that you're trying to send people. So like, for example, maybe if we wanted to send a newsletter out every month, maybe we make another list that is for newsletter recipients specifically. That way, if somebody clicks the unsubscribe button at the bottom of our emails, they can see that they're part of general subscribers, news and updates, newsletter, and they might not want to unsubscribe from that newsletter because they know that that's something they want to receive from you, but maybe they unsubscribe from news and updates, right? So you're kind of giving your contacts the power to unsubscribe from different communications they want, as opposed to just them opting out of all of your communications in general. And then, of course, there's some other things that you can do here, like other automations, which are pretty much any other action in Kartra that you can think of. So like if somebody fills out this form, maybe we want to give them points, or maybe we want to revoke access to a membership or grant access to a membership. There's a bunch of different other back-end automations that you can create, which will trigger when somebody interacts with this item. All right, now, again, when somebody completes that form, they are going to go to our success page. So let's go back over to that here now, which is in the pages section of our account. And you can see that there is a little bit of jumping around, right? Everything, Kartra is kind of divided into different categories based on what you're trying to create. So all your pages are going to be in the pages section. All of your emails are going to be in the marketing section. All of your forms, contacts will be in the contacts, right? It's just a little kind of organization and moving around navigation when it comes to editing your funnels. Let's go into our download page just to kind of show you how that is going to work. Pretty much with any sort of file download, if it's going to be on a page, all you need is a button, and buttons on pages can pretty much link to anything. I showed you earlier how you can embed different Kartra items to your page, like a form or a calendar or Kartra webinar, but a button will also link to all of those things as well. So in this case, we just have a download button. And in this case, you can have a download a file option and upload your file directly to Kartra. Kartra is a file host, so you don't have to have something like, Google Drive links or anything like that for your file downloads. You can just upload them directly to Kartra. And then when somebody clicks on that button, they'll be able to download it directly from this web page. Something else to note with any sort of success pages like this is you typically don't want people to land on these pages without having to sign up for your form, right? So what you can do is in the settings, you have SEO parameters, and this is like how people are, locating your page, how your page looks online and in social media. But you can hide any of your success pages from search engines so that people can't just stumble upon them without the link. And then maybe if somebody, like say somebody downloads your free offer and shares that link to someone else, there are also ways where you can redirect people from your pages based on different things. So in this case, it would be a tag, and we can say, well, not tag, sorry. In this case, we'll do a page redirect, and we'll say redirect everyone to a specific page, and we'll do our sign up page that doesn't have a tag. So we'll select the criteria, those not subscribed to a tag, and we'll choose our free offer download page. So this is just one example of how you can kind of block access to something that you don't want certain people to get. Because we're tagging everyone with that free offer download, the system will know who is supposed to land on this page after completing your form. And if they decide to share that link with someone else, it'll redirect them back to your sign up page so that you can capture their contact before they download your free offer. So Kartra is very robust. It has a bunch of different, kind of back-end settings and tools, which will sort of allow you to customize your journey. It's just kind of understanding where all those things are as you're building things out. Oh, let me save my changes here because I actually do want to keep that rule. All right. Now, what happens from there? Again, anytime somebody's filling out a form, purchasing a product from you, signing up for a calendar event, pretty much when they are providing you with their contact information, they are all going to be added to the contact section of your account. And you can see here, these people came in from filling out an opt-in form. Maybe these people were imported. It'll always tell you the source of how you obtained that contact in the past. You can click on a contact's profile to get a complete overview of that person. So you can see all the tags that they have, all of the emails they received from you. Did they open them? Did they, click on any links from them? You'll also see any past orders from any products they would have purchased. So the contact profile is a complete overview of that person. And then you'll also start seeing your list start to build, right? So if you have any people that are added to your general subscribers list, your newsletter recipients list, you'll start seeing those numbers start to add up. From there, you can start sending email communications to these people. Under marketing, you have email and SMS as well as sequences. Email and SMS are for any sort of manual emails that you want to send out. So maybe you are ready to launch your product and you want to just send an email out to everyone in your system. You can create a new email. And I know this is just a newsletter email, but just to kind of show you guys an example of how you would send it out, you could just create a new email, and then when in the from to section, you are able to designate who this email is being sent to. So we have, you can have a bunch of different bounds, but we can just say is subscribed to a list, and then you can choose, the list recipients that it will go to. This is a newsletter, so maybe we'll send this to our newsletter recipients, and it'll always tell you how many people are due to receive that communication and how many will actually receive it because of people that have been blocked for whatever reason. And the system will always tell you why someone's blocked. In this case, one person declined commercial messages. So that's just one example of what you can start doing with sending, again, manual emails out. Another is the email sequences, which are automated email flows. We do another event on email sequences. I think it's our next event, which will be in 2 weeks. So if you're interested in learning more about sequences, we'll go into it more there. But sequences are kind of, again, automated email journeys. So as opposed to manually sending your emails out, like with the email and SMS, where you have to write your email and send it at a specific date and time or send it right away. With your email sequences, you're setting them all up once, and then they're kind of running for you indefinitely in the background. Some good examples of email sequences are like nurture sequences, where, for example, all of our new Kartra customers are added to a sequence where we are sending them just material every day, kind of asking, seeing how they're doing, see if they need help. Another example is like a marketing sequence where you're sending people and marketing your products to them. When it comes to sequences, you have your starting rule, and that's how people are getting into your sequence. In this case, it's anyone that's filling out that free offer sign-up form. And then from there, they're going to start receiving the emails in the order that you kind of have them set up here. In this case, we are sending an email immediately. Then 3 days after that, we're sending an email to prompt them to book a call, which is our ultimate goal of selling our call services. 3 days after that, the system's going to check to see if they purchased. If they did, great, they're done. If not, we're going to keep sending promotional emails to them to further entice them to purchase our services. Maybe we'll send them a discount offer 3 days after that, and then another 3 days we'll send them a final offer just to apply some scarcity and further entice them to buy. So again, just some things you can do with your contacts. Of course, you can reach out to your contacts individually as well if that's something that you do want to do. I'll just show you that real quick. When it comes to emailing a specific contact, all you do is select them in the contact section of your account, and then you hit this 3-dot button on the right-hand side, and you can say, sorry, I think it was under, right here, email these selected leads. It used to be under the dot, but now there's just a nice email button for it. So just hit that button and it'll create an email just to that specific person, or if you selected like 3 people, it'll send it to just those 3. But alrighty, guys, again, just kind of a quick overview of funnels. I know I talk fast and I kind of went through things quickly, so happy to answer any questions that you guys have and sort of break it down for you if there's anything that you weren't familiar with or just need some more information on. Amanda, do we have any questions yet? And then, or should we open the floor?
No questions in the chat, and we can go ahead and open the floor.
Okay, Laurel, what's up?
Okay, I have a question because I'm new to Kartra. I'm working with a provider who has helped me, make some automated stuff for my program. But if I want to send an email to people I already know or have worked with in the past, and I want to link them to the free offer, how do I create that? Like, I was just going to go and email them like individually because I wanted to kind of do it a little bit personalized, but invite them to do an email sequence that we already have. Is there a way to just have a link that goes right to that free offer? Like, how do I know where to find that? Yeah.
So I guess all of your previous contacts that you're trying to reach out to, do you have them in your contact section of your account? Like, did you import them already or no?
No, I haven't done anything like that. That's why I'm wondering, like,
yeah. So if you have like an existing list of contacts before coming into Kartra, right? In today's example, I showed you how to like get new contacts. But if you have an existing list, there's this import section in your account. So under contacts imports, you can click this plus import button and basically upload your contacts. Now, it does need to be in a CSV file. So a spreadsheet file, just kind of one column for, first name, last name, email, all the different fields that you're adding. And then it will be imported into your system. Now, Amanda, could you get the import instructions, just because there is one step that does kind of trip people up, and that's the questionnaire step. Towards the end, there's going to be a questionnaire that you have to fill out as part of the import, where we are essentially just asking you, how did you obtain these leads? If it was like, some people did a webinar in the past and that's how they got them, or you met them through your in-person business, just kind of describing the process of how you get these contacts. And it's also going to ask you for a domain. The important part of the domain is it's going to, it's basically a domain that you can receive an email at. So if you don't own your own domain, there are workarounds which are listed in those instructions. So let me see. Yeah. So Amanda put them in the chat there. I would just go to that link and follow the guide for importing your contacts. Now, once you have them imported, Laurel, they're all going to be in your account in the contact section. You'll see them like this. It'll show like, they were added as an import. You can add these people to specific lists. So you can like select a bunch of them. You can subscribe them to lists. You can also subscribe them to lists as you're importing them, but kind of whatever your preference is. Again, lists are important to, you want to have your contacts each at least to subscribe to one list. Otherwise, if they opt out, they're gonna, be a
They're opt out of everything.
Yeah.
But there's no way to have some kind of a, how do I say it? Without me doing the full CSV file, is there any way for me to send like a link to my offer and they can opt in and then it will be added to my email if they opt in?
So
Or is there no workaround of it? I just wanted to just
there
see that.
is, it would have to be emailed outside of Kartra though. That's the
Right.
main thing, right? So you
Okay,
would
so I
create
could
like
do-
your offer page in Kartra. So like in pages, you could create your sign up page, kind of like I showed you in this demonstration, just like a page with a form that people can use to sign up to get your offer. You're going to get a link for that page and you can just email that link to anyone that you know. So you can send it to all of your previous contacts outside of Kartra. You can share it through social media. You can, put it wherever you want, and that'll, prompt people to sign up and be added. Otherwise, if you want to import them, you can import them into your account and then send them an email through Kartra that links to that page or that your offer. Those are kind of the two methods you have.
Great. Okay. I think I'm understanding. I'm just trying to get my head around like what's my best way to do it. But thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. No worries. I think kind of the best way to do is always this process of just setting up your sign up page. And if you're offering a download, your download page or your success page, wherever they're going to go after that sign up. And then you can just email that out to anyone or share it and they'll start being added to your contact list if they sign up. Of course, if they don't sign up, they're not going to be added to your contact list. That's why it might also be good to import as well, just to get anyone that doesn't respond to your initial contact. That way you can, continue marketing to them in the future if that's your plan. Alrighty.
All right. Excuse me. So we do have some questions that popped up in the chat, and then we have a few other people that raised their hands. So we'll go ahead and go through the rotation. So Emma Lee had asked, if we build a funnel and all the assets, can we automate it once all the pieces are in place and connected?
We automate once all the pieces. I mean, yes. I don't know what you mean by automate when all the pieces are connected. You mean like launch it or kind of just have things running for it in the background? A lot of things in Kartra, when you create them, they're all going to be running for you in the background. So unless you have things like a calendar booking page where you have to review your calendar bookings that are coming in or manual emails that you want to send out to these people, everything should run for you automatically in the background. The best way to automate things are to create those automations when you are building out your different assets. So if it's like a form, maybe you have automations that are adding people to lists or tagging people in the back end or sending people wherever you want them to go on the back end. The other thing is to add people to email sequences as opposed to manually sending them emails. Again, email sequences, you get to craft them. And once they're crafted, they're automatically going to run for you indefinitely. So anyone that meets the requirements to be added to that sequence will start receiving those emails automatically from you. I know it's kind of hard to explain some of these things without, kind of getting in detail. So of course, let me know if you have any other follow-up questions. We can dive a little more into it.
Yeah, I think the whole thing about like the funnel building process, it's like how we kind of went over, it's like you have your plan of what that customer journey is and kind of things that you want to occur. And then, as you're building each of those moving pieces out, whether it be like the form or the product checkout or the calendar booking, you're setting automations in those, and you're configuring automations in those settings that are kind of connecting all of those things as a funnel. So once you get those things built out and all connected, it's all automated. It's already all done, and it'll run as you've set it up.
Yep.
Okay, so hopefully that helps. Let's see. Next question was from Chris. In sequences, can we set up a calendar to book a discovery call prior to the start date of online program?
So I would say yes and no. I might need a little more information. So I guess if your discovery call is launching on a specific day, for example, when you are setting up your calendar, you are able to set sort of the start day for your call. So you would just have the start day be whatever that would be. So it can be kind of confusing to see how that looks. But essentially that would prevent people from booking calls before your launch date. They would be able to book, but it would only be for, starting the date that you want. Let me show you guys just how that would be.
And then Chris, if you want to clarify your question or anything, feel free to turn your mic on, and you can, we can talk through it too.
Yeah. So say your start date is May 1st. In that case, we will deselect, April, so that we're in the month of April. Nobody can book during the month of April. Or maybe your launch date is April 20th. We can say our start date is going to be April 20th to 30th, right? So anywhere from March 31st to April 20th, people won't be able to sign up for. So that's kind of how you would do a launch for a calendar. And then, of course, after the month of April passes, you can put this back to the 1st to the 30th so that your next year, people can book during those times. You can also block specific dates. So you can just have it running full year and then block the dates, before your launch. There are a few, I'm trying to give you like a few methods, right? That's kind of the first two. The other is to have it just as a product and then add people to a wait list. And then once you are ready to launch your calendar, you send your calendar to everyone on that wait list so that they can book. But I think just kind of having your calendar available and blocking the times until your launch date might be the easiest, because then you can start collecting the payments if it's a paid calendar, and ensure that people aren't booking before that first call date. But yeah, I didn't see if you raised your hand to add more information, so feel free to come online if you did.
Chris?
Sounds good.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was great. I was just wondering about the blocking. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Yeah. So that was helpful to learn about the blocking, how you can take your calendar and just block off certain days prior to the start of your online program. You offer discovery calls, and then that time would be not available for the next person that, would want to book that call.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
So that
Thank you.
happens, when you're creating your calendar, you'll choose the consultant calendar. That way you set your available times. In this case, we are saying we're doing our calls every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So every weekday at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10, 2, and 3, right? So we have 5 slots available. If somebody chooses my Monday slot at 8 a.m., it becomes blocked off for that slot, and then nobody else can book, right? So that's how the consultant calendar works. And then to block the actual dates, do what I showed you earlier, where you want to have, say you're launching in May, for example, you'll block out the month of April so that people can't book for any dates in April. None of these times will be available. They'll just be available for May.
Sure. Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome. Alrighty.
Alrighty. Next question is from Marcy. Great overview, but I require more detail for each step. Is there training that we have for that?
Ooh, so I don't know if we have like training for every step of like a simple list builder funnels. Do you know, Amanda, if we have like I know we have a simple list builder campaign, which is kind of the one that I went over with you guys today, but let me see if we still have the instructions for that.
Um,
Can I tell you what
So-
I'm thinking or why I'm asking this
Yeah,
question?
Yeah.
Hi.
sure.
Sorry. Good job. So I'm new to Kartra. I've been here a month, figured out how to create a course. It's really pretty and beautiful. And I have a beta group who literally are starting it today. So
Oh,
that's
gotcha.
the good news.
Yeah.
But for me, like in order to figure out how to do the pages, the memberships, this, that, the other, I went back and forth and back and eventually learned.
Mhm.
And I'm really happy with it. But I'm like, okay, I need a funnel now because when these people finish the course, I want to upload this course to Insta or Facebook or wherever and have this really great funnel to get people to sign up for it once I'm done the beta. But I'm like, it is going to take me a while based on how you explained it, just because of my level of understanding. Like, I hear you, I understand. But then when I go in, I'm going to be like, crap, where is that thing? What thing do I check off? Darn. And
Yeah.
it's going to take me a long time. I will get it, but I'm under like timelines all the time. So is there
Yeah.
no one that can like sit with you like this for half hour and be like, go here, go there. Yep, you got it. Go.
Yeah.
Good.
So we offer onboarding calls. It's actually what me and Amanda do, during our day to day. I would say sign up for an onboarding call with us. We can reach out to you after this call to kind of send you with the sign up for that. But basically, we'll meet with you one-on-one. We'll kind of, you can explain what your goal is, like what you're trying to do with your funnel. It sounds like you kind of want to advertise your membership to people on the internet. So yeah, we'll work with you. We'll formulate a plan. Like this is what you have to build, and then we'll check in with you. You can always reach back out to us if you get stuck along the way, and kind of help guide you from there. So I would
Is
say
it
yeah.
personal like this or written? Because even with the written instructions, like I can understand you much faster. Like, can you tell me this? Great. But when it's
Mhm.
written, it's like, did you mean this or did you mean that?
Yeah, the calls themselves are personal. So typically we'll meet with you one-on-one, again, walk you through the platform and talk you through how it's going to work. Then the follow-up will be through email. So, and everything is recorded, like Shannon said as well. She's our manager here, hovering in the chat.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
In the chat, I posted a knowledge base article that provides an overview of building just a basic sales funnel. So kind of like an overview of like the pages, the checkout, and then, and the funnel itself is, I believe, actually for selling a membership or a course.
Okay.
So take a look at that. And then later on, we'll connect, get it on, like if you need more assistance and kind of going over exactly what you're doing, then we can, book an onboarding call with you.
Okay. And you think that simple one is like enough to be professional and sell a course that, is going to cost a significant amount of money? Like, do you think the you know what I'm saying? The simple one will be enough and good enough and like.
So the article that I provided, it's an overview of just creating a simple funnel, how you end up creating it, for example, like designing the pages and stuff like that. We have great page templates, kind of help with that professional design and stuff like that. And then with that funnel, with that sales funnel, you'll have your sales page, and you can ultimately, put that in your Instagram posts and your social media and stuff like that. And then, see how that campaign ends up going.
Okay, so when I do my onboarding call, someone's going to go through those steps. Because for you, when you say just upload it to your Instagram, I'm like, okay, I don't want to take forever looking it up and how to do it. Someone can tell me that quickly, right? And we can do that. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Let's see. So, and then, okay. So next question was from Laura. Would you have to tag for each free offer, each program they have purchased?
No, you don't have to. Tags really are just kind of an identifier, something that you can quickly refer to on a contact. So for example, like if we click on this contact profile, and kind of the first page will be like all the information that you received about a person, you can see the tags, and it just kind of gives you quick information about, this person. booked an intro call with me. This person got a free download. You can also get this information because anyone getting our free download filled out a form. So obviously you can see, what forms they filled out in the past to see how they got up here. Again, they filled out this opt-in form that's listed, but just always a good identifier, because when you're sending emails out, you can always say, send this email out to everyone with a specific tag. Another cool thing you can do with tags is you can apply expirations to tags, so that if there is any sort of time frame that you want to put someone in, you can have that running with a tag that expires on their account. So tags aren't necessary. I would say the only things that really are necessary are lists, just because that's affecting how people are receiving, opting out of communications from you.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Awesome. Next question was from Kwasi. I'm wondering if each product I have requires its own funnel.
It depends on how you are trying to display those products to the public. So for example, if you are someone that kind of has a store with multiple products that you are okay with just all displaying on the same page, like somebody goes to a sales page, for example, and they can see all of your listed products and purchase from there, then typically you only need one funnel. But if you plan on kind of having different products that everyone's going on a separate journey for. Maybe you have a membership product that people are signing up for, and you don't want it to be on the same sales page as like your book a call product or whatever other product you're selling. Then I would say you would need separate funnels for each of them. All in all, you are going to need to create a product asset for each of the products that you have, but you only need sort of one starting point for that funnel, right? One sales page where all of those products are listed on that sales page. And you can create sort of a nice sales page when you are going in. I think one of these sections is called pricing tables, which lets you add like a nice pricing table to your page if you have multiple products or multiple packages that you plan on selling. From there, it also depends on where you are sending people after they purchase that product. Orland, I think you are not muted if you are on the phone. Sorry. But essentially from there, you can, what's it called?
Alex, you're muted.
Oh, can you hear me now? Yeah, I think I just muted myself.
Yeah, you're good.
But yeah, if you are creating like a sales page that has a lot of products, you can go down to this pricing tables section on like the page builder, and it'll provide you with like a bunch of templates where you can list multiple products on one sales page to make them all kind of look nice. In the end, that people can see, oh, I want to buy your first product. They click that button and it lets them purchase that product. So kind of just depends on, again, how you want that journey to work there.
Awesome. All right. Next we have Brenda. She raised her hand.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. Yeah, so I think you've been talking about some of this, and also just on the last thing you're talking about, when you're talking about products, is that the same as services also?
Yeah, anything that you plan on selling, right? Could be in Kartra would be listed as a product. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because I've got, I guess, two types of businesses going. Could I use 2 domains within Kartra, or 2 like emails?
It depends on the plan that you are on. So with Kartra provides you with a free domain for all of any URLs that are created. It's always going to be your username.kartra.com. If you own a domain, you can connect it to your account under settings domains. This will let you connect domains to your account. You can see I have www.gddemos.com, and I can use that domain for any URLs. Now, if you have multiple domains, you can connect multiple, but the starter plan only allows for 1 connection. the growth plan allows for up to 3, I believe. So you do have to be on the growth plan to use
Okay.
multiple domains.
Okay. So
now-
then my next, yeah, because I was wondering like how many opt-in pages or how many opt-in forms can we have live at one time?
Oh, there's no limit to anything that you create in Kartra, whether it be
Okay.
forms, pages, membership courses, products. No limits there, but the only limits here are how many domains you can connect to your account, and then how many, I think, each video that you upload can only be like a certain file size, but there's an unlimited amount of videos that you can upload, but not too
Okay,
many
so one more
restrictions.
question on the domain within Kartra. I didn't realize we could actually use Kartra without having a domain.
Yep. Yeah. Any page that you create, you'll kind of see here. I'll show you what it looks like. You get the page link and it'll always be HTTPS, your username. So whatever your username for your account is, .kartra.com.
Oh, I
So
see.
it will have Kartra in the domain name, but you don't need a domain to use Kartra. You can essentially take this link and, put it on social media, start marketing from there. It just depends on if you want to brand it or not. Typically, like if you have a website that you're planning on building in Kartra, definitely connect the domain. But if it's just something, a funnel, typically you don't need to have one yet. You can just use the Kartra URL to get started.
Okay. And one last question. Sorry, lost my train of thought now.
No, you're fine.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, as far as the emails, like how can people respond to the email system within Kartra?
No.
And where do we find those?
Yeah. So when you are sending emails out through Kartra, you are designating where the send from address to and the reply to address is. So there is no email inbox in Kartra. The inbox is going to be wherever you are designating your reply to.
Okay.
But yeah, for each email that you send, you can say what email address it's sending from and what email address responses will go to when somebody responds to it. And you'll just check that inbox for any responses.
Okay. So this has to just be set up once then? Or for each campaign?
What do you mean? Like for the emails themselves? Like when you're sending emails out?
Yes.
Well, I would say yes and no. So you're able to set up if you go to integrations, settings, integrations, you're able to set up your Kartra mail, and this will be like sort of the default mail send from reply to. So whenever you send an email, this will automatically populate, but you can also change that, say for a specific email, I don't want to send from hello@GD Demos. I want to send from Alex@GD Demos. You can always change it for each individual email if you need to. But you do want to connect your email domain that is under same place as your web domain, but you'll see it under DKIM. And this is essentially authenticating your email domain so that you can send emails out through Kartra without them going to spam.
Okay. Great.
Yep. You're welcome. And we can send you instructions for that as well, because I know that setting up the domain. Yeah, the domain's in the DKIM. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have some training that I'm doing with somebody else right now who's training me on this, but I just had a few questions too. So
yeah, no worries. Alrighty.
Next we have Esther Marie. She raised her hand and she also had a question in the question area, but Esther, feel free to unmute and we could get into your question.
Okay, I'm doing it on my mobile. So my question is, I've been using Kartra for quite a while, and if I send an email out, for example, with a URL, which could be to complete a form for a quiz or what have you, I can obviously get the information to say who has filled out the quiz or completed the form. But what I want to know is, in the email, how do I get the information who's clicked on the URL but hasn't completed the form, so I can follow them up, because they were obviously tempted, but they didn't do it.
Gotcha. Man, do you think what would the setup be for that? I know you can like check your clicks in an email, but that would show you the list of, everyone who clicked, right? I don't think
So
it would.
you can automate something like that. When you're creating an email in Kartra, whether it's like a single off email or maybe an email in a sequence, you can configure the email with automation. So, when someone sent that email, you can create an automation to see like if they opened it or not after X amount of days, or if they've clicked a link or not after X amount of days, and then trigger an automation to maybe subscribe them to a sequence. And then you can send an email with that sequence, or that is only sent to the person that hasn't filled out the form yet.
So what happens if, for example, I send an email and there's two URLs in there? There's one perhaps clicking on a product and one's perhaps clicking on a form.
So when you create that automation in the email, Alex, go to an email and see if you can find one with like multiple links in it. You can actually set it to a specific link in the email. So if you have multiple ones in there, you can create an automation with the email for each specific one.
So my point is how, obviously I type the email and then I put, if you want some more help, click on this link, www. whatever. How do I tag that URL to tell me someone's clicked on it?
Okay, so Alex is in the email builders where you put the links in. Can you just put 2 links in? Put like Google in one of them and then put Kartra in the other one.
Do we get a recording of this?
Yes, you do.
Right, fine. I
This is all
can't see
recorded.
too well on my phone. Thank you.
All right. So we have the save your seat link
To Google and then put that one to Kartra. Okay, and then have that saved and then save the email. Save. And then we'll go to automations and then we'll create a new automation. So if this person clicks on this link, and then we'll select the specific link. Oh, you had a few of them in there already. Okay, so like the Google one or like the Facebook one. So Google, add, and then we can assign a specific tag to them or subscribe them to.
So what? So say for example, like it's a quiz that I've already got. I want to know who's clicked on that URL from that email. Because if it's just a URL, it is just generic across all the different emails that I've sent. I just want to know who's clicked on that URL for that email.
So this setting is for this specific email for this link click.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry. Can't see it very well on my phone.
Sometimes it takes a second to get it through, but yeah. So you're setting these automations specifically in that email for whatever content that's in it.
So it's automations, right? Okay. And that automation can be just to add it to a list.
And the automation can be the action that occurs or that's executed after can be really anything. You can add them to a list. You can subscribe them to a sequence. Maybe add a tag.
I'd seen that and automatically assumed automation meant you're going to be sending another email afterwards. I didn't realize it was click this automation to do this with this link. Right, got you. Which could be tag, list, whatever. Yeah, okay, fine.
Okay. So hopefully that helped address your question.
I can't see what you're doing too well, but I'll watch the replay back. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. AW. Okay, the overview went extremely fast. I feel lost and not clear with creating funnel. How can I access a training that clearly and slowly covers each step necessary to build a funnel? Oh, okay. So that was overview funnel was kind of confusing. So it really depends on kind of like what funnel you're looking to build, and then, you know, we can provide an onboarding call if needed. But AW, if you're still here, feel free to put on your mic and let us know kind of what kind of funnel you're looking to build. Let me see if they're still here. Okay, and then
Yeah, it
while
looks like
okay, but I will follow up too with the onboarding call in case we need it. We'll we'll go over to Marcy, which was the next question.
Are you able to hear me, Amanda?
Oh, yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. So because this went really quickly, I'm not exactly certain exactly what type of funnel I want to build as of yet. So I'm just wondering, are there any trainings or any sort of resources that I can refer to so that I can, first of all, like determine that and then learn how to do it?
Yeah, so from your Kartra account, you can access our knowledge base. Alex, do you want to screen it for me?
Yeah, I was just searching for
Oh yeah.
some, but
So if you go to our knowledge base, I know there's a few articles that we have that provide an overview of like very common funnels that that people tend to do. So one of them would be like building an email subscriber list. I think it's under getting started. And then you have a funnel there for building an email subscriber list. So that's a really common funnel that people do. The sales funnel, so really a basic sales funnel for selling anything. I think that one's under products, but I did also share it in the chat. So there are a few of them, but really our knowledge base has articles for overviews of all of our different features, all of the configuration capabilities. So if you ever need any type of article resources, they are all available in the knowledge base. And it's also a place that you can contact technical support if needed too. If you need a little guidance, you can log in with your Kartra credentials, submit a support ticket, or we have live chat available at specific hours. So you can chat with them in real time, and they can kind of direct you to whatever you might need assistance with, or questions or anything like
And
that.
outside of those articles, are there any video trainings on creating funnels that take it a bit slower than this went today? Because this was really fast.
yeah, I'd say I don't think we really do, but I would recommend maybe YouTube, just kind of searching through there, and I would filter by dates maybe within the last year, because I know Kartra was updated within the last year, so it probably looks different if you're going for anything older than that. But I know there's a bunch of content creators, especially some of our certified partners, which create their own sort of demonstrational videos. It's just kind of hard to go through funnels again, because one, they're kind of specific to what you're trying to create. I think our plan for the future is really to create a lot more funnel templates and videos that'll sort of walk you through each step a lot slower. I think one of my projects right now is to actually do that for a few funnels, but yeah, I don't think those resources will be available probably till a bit later this year, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, thank you both very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And like we said, anyone that hasn't had an onboarding call with us, feel free to reach back out to us. We can kind of send you the link to book that call, because we do want to connect with you and make sure that you guys feel confident going forward in Kartra and kind of giving you the steps to do that.
Yeah, Shannon mentioned, so I noticed while I was going through the questions, there are quite a few people asking for onboarding calls. Shannon just posted in the chat. You can send us an email at onboarding@kartra.com. That's going to get in touch with us on our help desk, and then I can follow up with you guys and provide you a link, and then we can get you all scheduled and stuff. So yeah, feel free to email us. All right. Let's see.
We are at the hour, so we can kind of just go through all the questions we have here. Did someone recently raise their hand? Alfred, did I see that? Did you have a question?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, what's up, Alfred? Or
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. My question is this. I have an outstanding WordPress website. It's an educational multidimensional learning platform, e-learning platform with a webmaster. I took a course and I was gifted 3 months of Kartra at a special rate by the teacher in this course. Is there any way that I can, in parallel, use Kartra in parallel to market the courses at my website that the webmaster takes care of, keeping the courses updated?
Yeah, so Kartra is really good at working. If you have a website built outside of the system, anything that you build in Kartra can be used in your external website. So if you are building a funnel, for example, and you have forms or products or anything that are built in Kartra, for example, any forms can be embedded directly to your website. So when you are creating a form for any sort of sign up, you have an embed option and you can just copy and paste this code or give it to your webmaster and they can put it into one of your pages so that anyone interacting with your WordPress website can fill out this form and they'll be added to, the contact section in Kartra where they can start their, funnel journey in here. The same thing is if you're creating any sort of additional pages, like say you have your website in WordPress, but you are creating your advertisements in Kartra, which all have like a landing page and a download page or anything like that, right? You can connect your domain to Kartra. So I assume your WordPress domain is like www.yourwebsite.com. Instead of connecting your main domain, you would set up and connect a subdomain. So it would be like sales.yourwebsite.com or members.yourwebsite.com. And that way it's still branded to your website and has the same URL. That way it looks consistent when people are interacting with anything that you create in Kartra as well. So those are kind of the two big things. The other is, any pages you create in Kartra, you can just link to your main WordPress website. So if you build like an advertisement in Kartra and you want to share it on WordPress, like maybe you put a button on your WordPress website that says, hey, get my free offer, and it links to your Kartra page. There's kind of a few ways that you can connect the dots between the two.
Great. And so I'm going to be reaching out to get my onboarding call.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Great.
I think, no, I was going to say you can't do it in the community, but typically when you start your accounts, you'll be prompted, but if not, we can send the request out to anyone else.
Yeah.
But all right.
Okay.
Chris, do you still have your hand raised? Did you want to have a question? I think I see it.
I do. I just have a real quick one. It's in the chat there. When you get a booking from a calendar, do we need to go into Kartra to review that booking detail, or can we set up some type of notification via text or email?
Yep. So you can review it in Kartra. It'll show up under events, calendars, and you'll typically see like an exclamation mark or like a little red dot showing you that something new is in there. Yes, you can also get email communications. So under settings, you have
like you talked about before.
No, so this is actually different. So you have settings, email notifications, and these are emails that are sent out to just you or your contacts or your affiliates based on actions. So in this case, you'll go to email notifications and you'll go to your team, which is
Okay.
the last tab. These are all emails that are sent to you when somebody does something. We can categorize it by calendar notifications. So let's see here, calendar, and I'll show you only those ones. And you have two. So if you have, I don't know if your calendar is automatic approval or manual approval. If it's automatic approval, you can do the confirmation one. That way it'll notify you whenever a new calendar booking is, in. If it's a manual approval, it'll send you an email letting you know that you have to, come into Kartra and review the approval. So those are the two emails that are sent out to you there.
Okay, thanks. And then you said you can build a website in Kartra?
You can. So it just comes down to building all of your different pages. So like if you're building a website, you have your home page, your about me page, your sales page, right? And then you're connecting them all through a header so that way people can navigate to each of those pages. And you can create a site in Kartra, which will automatically add your header and footer to all the pages that you're creating. So you don't have to, keep doing it to every page you create for that same website. We have a recording on building websites, and we can send you some training for that as well.
So I have a website already, and I know that there was a link, I think in the chat here, Amanda was going to send that DC. It started with a D, and I'm looking for it.
Domains.
It was D.
I
want to see if she
Was it D Kim?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. I'll send that right now.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
thank
for
you,
emails.
guys.
So
You
domains
guys
is for. Oh, you're very welcome, Chris.
Decom.
Yeah, domains is for any website URLs. So if you are building your website in Kartra, you'll probably want to do domains once you purchase your domain, and you can connect it and use it for your pages. DKIM is for emails. So when you're sending emails out, that's the email domain that you are sending from. So it'll probably match your main website, but that's the difference between the two.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Alrighty, looks like we only have a few more, so we can just get them through real quick.
Them. Yeah. I marked them out. Let me see. Marcy, once you create a funnel, how do you upload to Insta or Facebook?
Easily. So if you are marketing your funnel to Facebook or any sort of social media, it comes down to whatever page you want to be marketing. So it's kind of the first page for your funnel. In our case, in this example, again, it's that free offer sign up page. If it's a sales funnel, maybe it's your sales page, right? Your landing page, wherever the first place you want people to start that journey on. And then when you're setting up that page, you have settings and SEO parameters. So this allows you to enter information for how that page is going to appear when you share it through either social media or the internet. All of the page meta information are how people will see your page through search engines. But the this OG title, OG description is how your page is going to show when you share it through social media, if you're running any ads to it, things like that. So you can upload your thumbnail image, your description, your title, and then when you share the link to your page through social media, it'll, again, people will be able to kind of see it, click on it, and access your page from there. Now, this is for any sort of organic traffic, right? This is like if you're sharing your page through social media. When it comes to sort of advertisements, we can't provide you too much information on that process, but essentially what you're going to do is just take your page link. So, once you're done building your page, you can publish it and get the link, and then you're just going to run any advertisements to that page. So, you'll just take this URL, and that's the URL you're going to want to send advertisements or pay advertisements to if you're running ads. Alrighty.
Next one is Greg. Is there a done for you in Kartra option for creating funnels, campaigns?
For just creating funnels in general, it always depends on the funnel that you're trying to create. But yes, if you go to campaigns and then done for you campaigns, which is under marketplace available is what it's listed as now. You can search here for all of the available campaigns that we offer. Like say, for example, if you want to sell a course, you can go to search for all the ones containing a membership. And then you can see here, there's like, different membership ones, but let's see if there's any. Yeah, consultant for video series plus course, or upsell a course, wellness funnels. It just depends on kind of what you're trying to create. You can look through them and see what are available, but yeah.
Yeah. And then like usually the ones in the available campaigns, those are going to be like industry specific. They're more complex with a little more pages and moving parts. And then if you want any very simple basic ones, you can find those under my campaigns when you do one of the quick start campaigns in there.
And you press this plus campaign button.
All right. Next question is, Stephen, do you recommend duplicating funnels and making changes for different lists, offers, etc., or starting from scratch on each separate funnel?
Yeah, you can definitely duplicate them. If it's not broken, don't fix it, right? If it's working well for you for one thing, just clone everything, change everything up a little bit to match your new offer or your new funnel. And then, yeah, you have that one launched as well. So you can definitely clone things if it's working for you. If it's something's not working out for you, maybe you're not getting as many opt-ins as you want, maybe try something different and start from scratch. It kind of, with funnels, it always comes down to, the marketing strategy, what you plan on, your audience, how they're interacting with it, all that jazz.
And then Greg had asked, can you change your original domain name to another one?
I guess it depends on if you have a domain connected. So if you're using your original Kartra domain for any URLs that are generated, so like let's look at a page, for example, and you connected a different domain to your account, you can just update that URL by editing the link and then just choosing it from the drop down. So like if you were the default one, I can change it to my actual domain. Now, if you're talking about like a domain connected to your system, say you have like www.yourwebsite.com and you want to change it to www.yourwebsite2.com, you can. So if you're on the starter plan and you already have a domain connected, you can remove that domain and then connect another one to your account. Of course, it'll remove this domain so that you'll lose that URL for anything that you're using it on, but then you'll be able to connect your new domain to your account. If you have multiple accounts, like if you have growth, you can connect multiple domains to your account, and then you'll be able to select from that list when you're editing your pages, which domain you want to use for that page or URL. Alrighty. And
then our last one is Andrea. Is there an overview of image formats, pixel specifications for the various placements, course image portal, etc.?
There's really not. I would say, yeah, go ahead, Amanda. I would say like in the membership builder itself, we do have certain dimensions. But like if you're talking about pages, like if you're building web pages out, it's always kind of trial and error, really, kind of seeing the general shape of the image you want and then seeing if it looks good on that page and then resizing from there. But Amanda, yeah, what were you going to say?
Yeah, it was kind of similar to what you're saying. For if there's any recommendations on images, that's usually inside the platform. So when you're setting something, like maybe something in the membership, it'll have a suggestion on there. We don't have any articles specifically for them. And then I think when it comes down to like pages and stuff like that, the pages are dynamic too. They do kind of like, they're optimized to be dynamic based on like the screen size that people are viewing it from. So if things that are on there, the content, it does kind of like adjust accordingly to it. So I think it's kind of comes down to just your pixels and just having like good quality images and stuff, if anything.
Yeah, I'd say with pages, the really hard one is any background images. So the bigger, the better if you're trying to add like a overall background image to a page. When it comes to like individual images, you can just kind of
portal title, a course image portal, for example. Course image portal, like the one that shows up within the membership or the one in the portal? like a membership portal. So go to memberships, if anything. Alex.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Let me go ahead.
So you have portals, the title picture for the course in the portal. Okay, so the one that shows up. So if you're looking at a bunch of memberships on a portal, there's like a picture on each of them. So for like that one, Alex, do you know if what the?
Yeah, that's your that's this image right here. Under the membership details, it looks like a circle here, but when it's in a portal, it's a square, right? It kind of resizes. So that's definitely this image that you have once you're editing your membership under membership details. It's this first image.
In the membership, it's 5,000 by 500.
They should have
500 by
500.
500. Yeah, 500, 500. But in the portal, it's not.
Yeah, I think that's something that we'll probably just have to bring up to our development team because I do know what they're talking about. It's essentially a square image when you upload it to the membership itself, right? So like it's square and it turns into that circle, 500 by 500 pixels. But when you go to a portal, you see how it stretches it out like a rectangle. That's what she's referring to, I believe.
Oh, so it squishes it, it cuts it off on the top and the bottom.
It cuts it
a
off
little
on the
bit.
top and the bottom.
Okay.
So yeah, that's something we can just bring up as a suggestion to our dev team. But yeah, there's no way around it. The image is going to be pulled from your membership itself in that first thumbnail image selection.
Yeah. If anything, I think, Andrea, if this would be a good opportunity to open a support ticket with the technical team. They can see if they might have any more specific, numbers or suggestions on what you might go about doing. And then, you can just, from your account, you can hit the help button and then access the support page to contact them. And then I'll also post in the chat. Visiting the support home.
Yeah.
You can just log in there too. And then they might be, because we don't have any articles, but they might be able to give you suggestions on maybe, they'll be able to see like, what kind of image you're using on there, what you're trying to go for, to see if there might be anything they could advise.
Yeah, maybe they even know the dimensions of this and you can use that for the actual membership image. I'm just not sure, how that'll look from both ends, but yeah, something we can reach out to them for. But all right, guys,
So
we
hopefully they'll
are
be able to help. Yeah, we're good.
We are over, so I am going to end it for today. Thank you all for joining. Great questions and engagement. I think that is probably the most powerful part about these calls is kind of seeing all your unique scenarios and giving you the information to achieve your goals. And it sounds like a lot of people also like the information as well. So thank you again for joining us. The recording of this call will be sent out tomorrow at the same time, so 1 p.m. Eastern time. So keep an eye out for that one. And our next event will be in 2 weeks on, let me get the date for you. I believe it's the 15th, and that will be on email marketing. So if you want to learn more about, contacts, lists, sending emails, creating sequences, be sure to join us in that one because we'll tell you all about it. But thank you guys for joining again. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.